Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. Boy, it's been a busy week. It has been a busy... Well, first you have to take down my decorations. It's been 12th night, baby. Christmas is over. Christmas comes but once a year. Why do you think Santa Claus is always so jolly on Christmas? That would explain it. But it's been a busy old week. A lot of news has dropped, right? A lot of news has dropped, which is... just good news for me, basically, because I have a YouTube channel that comments on the Doctor Who news, and we've got a lot of it to go over. Can I ask everybody to like, share, and subscribe? All those things are Fandabby. Oh, you know. Fandabby Double Dozy. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. By the way, if anybody in the production team is watching this, and I'm sure you're keeping an eye on it, can you please show my thumbnails to Rusty Davis? I just think he'll like them, okay? I just think he would giggle. And you know, that's just kind of what I want out of life. I like making people giggle, okay? That's really... What do you want, Rabbi? Like, what is it, the most central thing that you really want to like? I like to giggle. I like making other people giggle. I like to be naughty, you know, because that's normally a giggle, right? So that'll be lovely. Could you do that? Like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are fantastic. Absolutely fantastic, baby. Also looking like it'll be fantastic. New season of Doctor Who, new era of Doctor Who. Now, a lot of people watch this channel and they go, no, it's gonna be more of the same. I don't think so. I just, there's evidence that can go either way. I'm just being optimistic. That's me for you. But we got a lot of news about what's coming. We saw location filming happening this week. It didn't really tell us anything. We didn't see any shooting. On my I put out a video on it on the day and said, nobody saw shooting. I guess people must have seen shooting at some point. You know, he must have been somewhere. And we just saw the back of Millie Gibson's head, right? That's basically it. So there's a few interesting things. We're going to be looking at them. It's not going to take long. We really didn't see much. The security is freaking awesome. I mean, like, where was this security when David Tennant was home? I'm glad they weren't there, frankly. Because I was like, you know what I want to say? I want to see Shooty and Millie running up and down a bloody corridor, right? I mainly Shooty. I want to see him running up and down a corridor. Then I know we're watching Doctor Who, right? About running up and down corridors, and, you know, man, I for the life of me, I don't understand a lot of things, right? But on the Jodie Whittaker era, like, why wouldn't you just work with a stuntman for, like, weeks or months or however long it takes to look like you can convincingly run up and down a corridor? That seems to be really the physical requirement of being in Doctor Who. You can run down a bloody corridor. And Jodie, God bless her, never really worked that out, did they? They worked out on their second season. They worked out just that whenever she runs, do it on like a shaky cam so you can't really see how unbelievably bad it was. But, you know, if I'm asking those sort of questions, like, why didn't the script editor point out any of the plot holes? I really don't know, right? I really don't know the answer to these questions. But thankfully, that's a thing of the past. That is a thing of the past. And now we're going to look to the future with a bunch of news. And as I said, this news is exciting. So like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are fantastic. Sign up my Substack, my email newsletter. Now on Fridays, I give out a PDF of an out-of-print Doctor Who book. I don't know what that's going to be, but you know what I really need to do? Maybe I'll do it this week, who knows? I need to think about what book that's going to be and put out a mini review of it so you can see, oh, well, that's interesting. Like last week I did Millennial Rights, I think, because it was around New Year's, and that was all based around Y2K. Really, that's a really good Sixth Doctor Y2K, Sixth Doctor Mel Y2K, great intelligence. I think Yetis are in it as well. It's by Craig Hinton. I wish these things were like, you know, you should be able to just get them print on demand, right? The BBC should have a thing where you can just order any of these books, print on demand. You don't need to keep stock. And you know, I just don't like that these stories are being lost, right? I don't like seeing them being lost in real time. But then again, maybe not, because that's the one of the stories we're going to cover is how stories might not be lost, right? Because of the Russell D. Davies effect, in my opinion. Fine, like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack, paid Substack. Thank you very much, all my everybody subscribes to that. I'm getting back into routine, right? I got to start putting out some, not just content, good content on the paid one. So that's just got to happen. You get nothing for it, right? This is the worst sales pitch ever. Yeah, but I'm shackled by wanting to tell the truth, right? You don't really get anything for it. I really got to start putting that together. Maybe tomorrow, right? Maybe I'm recording this on Thursday. Take my life in my hands. Even in case there's new news, there'll be some insert in this video covering the new news. Okay, yes, we do have breaking news. We do have breaking news. A story that came out last night while I was doing a live stream. That in this month's Doctor Who magazine, there's an interview with the 4 producers. I haven't read it yet, but during that interview, I think both Rusty Davies and Phil Coulson said we saw everybody for the role of Doctor: men, women, non-binary, black, white, yeah, you name it, everything. We saw everything, and people are a bit taken back by this. A non-binary Doctor? They're looking at non-binary actors play the Doctor. So the answer is yes. Of course they were. Of course you've got to understand the mindset of the weirdos making all the entertainment for us right now. Their mindset is that if you don't actively seek out a non-binary actor, right? If you don't look at everybody, that is evil. That is oppression, right? That is it's like hanging out a sign saying no Jews or blacks or Irish, right? That's their mindset they live in, and it's bonkers. It's completely bonkers. But Andy Pryor, the casting director, he's a liberal lovey like all of them. What's he going to do at a cocktail party when he says, oh, no, we didn't look at any non-binary actors for Doctor Who? He's not going to be invited back, right? It's a massive social taboo. And they go on and say, we were open-minded to anyone. So here's the truth. We live in a time where people lie. They lie to each other and they lie to themselves, right? I think most people, if you ask them, can men have babies? They know the answer to that. I can't say the answer on YouTube, but they know the answer. If you ask most people, do women have penises? Most people know the answer to that, right? Most people don't have any trouble with that answer. But again, I can't say what I think is the answer to that on YouTube, or the scientific answer to that on YouTube. I'm not allowed to do it because people lie to themselves. So for them not to see everybody, they're admitting that they're full of crap. Their whole worldview is full of crap. And they know it's full of crap, which is why they scream about it so much stronger. But I don't think there was ever a scintilla of doubt that the guy playing the Doctor would be a good-looking black bloke. Okay, I'm sure that's what Rusty Davies went in thinking. I don't think they would, between themselves, they would even say it out. I think it'll be, these are taboo words, right? Absolutely taboo. I doubt they would even say it to themselves, right? Maybe it's very shallowly hidden, dug beneath the surface of their psyche. But that's what's going on. Yes, of course they saw everybody. They just happened to come out with a hot black guy and a hot white girl, right? Yeah. Oh, completely coincidental. We saw everybody. People in wheelchairs, people obese, people everything. We just ended up coming out with an insanely hot white chick with massive boobs. Yeah, that's wow. Oh, it just happened, right? Yeah. No, lying. They're like, please calm down. Wait till you see what's on screen. If it's shit, come back here and I will say I was wrong. It was shit, right? That is exactly what I say. Second thing people are perturbed about today is from the location filming, which we're going to see in this video. When I say this video, if you're not watching, if you're just watching the smaller video, go and check out my Newswalk video, which has everything in it. You're going to see in the video lots of very nationalistic, political stuff. Set dressing or location dressing. So people are like, oh, it's going to be super political. I will remind everybody. Rusty Davies is the same person who took the piss out of Tony Blair in the John Sim Saxon Master, right? So if you're going to take piss out of one side and you're doing it to the other, I'm personally fine with that, right? I mean, I think the problem that liberal lovers have today is they want to blame the Tories. It's the Tories. Like there's another video coming on my channel about Simon Pegg ranting about the Tories. And don't get me wrong, yes, that political party mainly corrupt, full of cockwombles. Yes, I completely agree with you. I skew more right wing, right of centre is how I would describe myself. But yeah, absolutely, they do not represent the will of the people, and they are everything you say about them probably true. However, it's also true of every other party, right? Every other party. It makes no bloody difference to say, oh, the Tories. No, it's the political system in which we live under, which over the last 5 years has become weaponized, in my opinion. Well, not in my opinion, I think it's a factual thing, has become weaponized against us, mainly by the security services. And I understand how bonkers that sounds, right? I do understand how insanely bonkers that sounds. But I think that's one of the big defenses, because it sounds so bonkers, no one's going to say it. Unfortunately, you have bonkers people every now and again like me who will. So there you go. That's the breaking news. But hopefully not, because that makes life a bit stressful. So like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack, Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook. Facebook, I just post the thumbnails to my video. You can follow me on Facebook. I won't stop you, but really I'm more active on Twitter. And I kind of like Instagram. I just don't have enough time to do all these things. So like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are fan dabby, double dozy. Fine, let's start off and look at the location filming. Now, just so you know, this location film was from, I believe, was it the 3rd? Hang on. I think it was the 3rd of January, maybe the 4th. Now, the next location filming is going to be on January 9th. So it's Friday, Saturday, so Monday, right? Monday, January 9th. 7:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. downstairs at Newport Market. So that seems similar to the some other stills we saw earlier this week. And then next day, January 10th, Tuesday, it's 12:30 to 5:30. Actors with fake guns will pretend to fire them from the tops of Newport Market Arcade and the Westgate Hotel. Roads closed, but not to pedestrians. Oh, pedestrians, get out there, baby, take pictures. I want to see Shooty running, okay? I just want to see Shooty running. That'd be fantastic. But let's have a look at what we do have so far. So go doink. Now, there's a little bit of video, but I'm not even bothering with it, because it doesn't really do anything, right? It's just, let me pull this over, I'll move over here. It's just these pictures with people milling around, right? That's really genuinely all it is, right? So this is inside the Albion building. This is almost certainly a Christmas episode. I say that because of the big Christmas tree over here. So they're wearing Albion t-shirts. Who is Albion? We're going to see in a minute. More Christmas. And again, is the video footage is exactly like this. It's just exactly like that, I should say. Exactly like that. It's just people milling around, right? It really is. It's very, very bizarre. So then we look outside and we have a storefront set up for it seems to be a very nationalistic, probably right-wing party. So this is deep into Russell T Davis politics zone, right? It is deep into his personal politics, which is as fine, because we've had this all the way through Doctor Who. I think if it's wrapped around a compelling narrative, that's great. But it seems to me that he wants to take the piss out of Boris Johnson. Look, I skew more right-wing than left, but I can't be against anybody taking the piss out of Boris Johnson. Really? I'm like, I don't know. There is, I don't think there's any politician I'll go, no, leave them alone. Oh, they're the bestest ever. But anyway, so we don't know what this is. Clearly the bad guys, all right? Clearly the bad guys. If you pull out a little bit, you can see it's quite a big storefront they got going on there. Let's zoom in. Now, an interesting thing people have pointed out is about Albion. So two things people have pointed out is, one, the logo, right? The Albion logo, the A with a dash in it, looks very similar to this logo. This is from the Valiant, the unit Captain Scarlet hovercraft or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. hovercraft. So it looks very similar. Is it connected? We don't know, but they look pretty similar. And also, is it connected to Albion Hospital? I think probably it's the word that Rusty Davis likes, right? That's probably why. So the leader of the... Apparently, again, this is just from the pictures, right? The leader of this Albion is... this very charismatic messianic type of person called Gwilliam. So vote Gwilliam. I don't know what that means. Somebody said the KFC here, was it? Yeah, the KFC reflection in the window is actually the master coming in. No, it's not. So then it's moved into night shoots. They had some very stark red lighting, which makes me think maybe it's on fire, maybe it's being invaded by aliens. Who knows, right? Who knows? But yeah, this lighting does look very, very fiery, doesn't it? And then we saw one of the stars, Millie Gibson. She doesn't have pink hair; it's just the red light, right? We saw a bit of Millie Gibson. Yay! Great to see Millie Gibson, and now we see her with more of her blonde hair, right? And that's basically it. Vote William, right? Vote William. Okay, he's a bit good looking for Boris Johnson, isn't he? Was it the head of the Savine supposed to be Tony Blair? I can see that. I can see the guy playing on The Crown is useless, right? And there's bits and pieces of stuff thrown around the office. This wooden block, somebody asked, is this one of them black cubes from 3? I hope not. And it doesn't look like it. Looks like a paperweight. Mind you, that's how I'll describe the episode as well. Kind of like a paperweight. So then, something new came up. We saw this weird image over here, which of some kind of looks like a big slug-like being, right? What is the slug-like being? Some people are hoping maybe it's the Tractators. The weird thing about Tractators is they look very good unless they move. If they move, they look abysmal, right? Absolutely abysmal. But as long as they don't move, they look pretty darn good. So yeah, could this be the return of the Tractators? Although other people on Twitter have had other ideas. It could go either way, right? Ricky, I hope you're in it, mate. I hope you're in it. Love a bit of Ricky Gervais. And also, I think this costume is a bit dickish. I mean, they were always better than that in Doctor... I don't know. Apart from when he got the Jodie Whittaker years, I guess, and not all of them. Some were quite good, but yeah, this was all pretty dumb bad. Okay, but is the Tractators returning? I don't know. Right? I do not know if the Tractators are returning. Rusty Davis hasn't told me. Something else Rusty Davis hasn't told me is if Susan Foreman is returning. Right? We've got a lot of returning people. A lot of things returning. That's the theme of this. This video. All things returning. So Bleeding Court asks, is Doctor Who's 6th anniversary, is Rusty Davis teasing the return of Carol Ann Ford Susan? Maybe. Here's the thing, right? You never know with Russell T Davis, right? You never ever know, right? Is he just dicking around? Is he being playful? Is he what's he doing, right? That you never really can tell for sure. So, maybe. Again, that's my answer to a lot of things. Maybe, right? Maybe. Fine, so let's read this. As Doctor Who fans know all too well, there's a bit of a stumbling block that has to be resolved before Shooty Gutter and companion Millie Gibson, Ruby Sunday, takes the TARDIS for a spin in season 14, and that stumbling block comes in the form of Jodie Whittaker regenerating into David Tennant. Forget Jodie Whittaker regenerating David Tennant. Just forget Jodie Whittaker, right? When these specials appear, there will be no connection to Jodie Whittaker whatsoever. TARDIS will be different. Sonic Screwdriver will be there. Everything, and the Doctor's like, I don't know what's going on, and that's all you really need, right? And when we get the answer, we'll get the answer. I think the answer is going to say that Jodie Whittaker's era never existed, which, I can't imagine anybody being too upset by that, right? I don't know. Maybe Jodie Whittaker. Maybe Chris Chibnall. Even Chris Chibnall was probably like, oh, God, just erase from reality. Yep, that sounds like something only if a 3-episode 60th anniversary event could take care of. Thankfully, that's what's planned in November. Joining Tennant, showrun Rusty Davis and directors Rachel Talali, Tom Kingsley, Chania Button, and our Catherine Tate, Yasmin Finney, Neil Patrick Harris, the toy maker, they say here, but you don't know that. Jacqueline King as Sylvia Noble, Carl Collins as Sean Temple, and Ruth Medley as Shirley Ann Bingham. Looks like she's working for UNIT. Look like a angry, unhappy person to me, right? I mean, the character. I'm sure Ruth Medley is quite a happy person, right? Although she does play angry, unhappy people a lot. If you heard her play Hebe on in Big Finish. Angry, unhappy person. That's basically the way to describe her, right? It's kind of a one-note character, that note being she's in a wheelchair, right? That's basically it. Whereas, you saw her in Years and Years, and that she was in a wheelchair was like a small part of her personality, which is why I like Rossi Davis's writing, because that seems authentic to me, right? And that's why it was a three-dimensional character. So I'm intrigued to see what they're going to do as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Russell lives in the entertainment industry, swims in the same currents of the world we do, and the world's gone mad, right? The world says that everybody white, especially male in the Western world, is a racist and a bigot. They can't help being racist and bigots. They just love racism and bigotry so freaking. It doesn't matter if you've never done anything racist or bigoted. That doesn't matter. You're still a bigot, right? So he's like. That's probably why he wanted to have Ruth Madeley in it for disabled representation, which I'm not against. I'm not against any representation, but I am against needless representation, right? Addressing problems that don't exist. Like, I don't know anybody who goes, oh, handicapped people, screw them, oh, throw them onto the fire. Like, no. Have you ever met anybody who says that? Right, ever? Have you ever met anybody who goes, black people? Oh, God, no, they're awful. No, you've never met anybody like that, right? Ever. That doesn't matter. He believes that's the real, so that's reality. So we got Yasmin Finney, also plays, trans representation, which is a bit more of a hot button topic. But I do think that he wants to fix all this stupidity that people who share his ideological worldview have been engaging in, right? Their self-destructive stupidity, which could well be happening. In addition, the late Bernard Cribbins will presumably appear as Wilfred Mott, and might we be able to see the return of Carol Ann Ford to this list? Based on Russell T Davies' recent comment on the official Doctor Who post, one would have to wonder. Fine. So they had a picture of a little video clip from Susan Liebening in Dalek Invasion of Earth. Just finished watching that on the Blu-ray. Freaking awesome. Absolutely awesome. It's really interesting, though, because season 2, there is a massive note change. I think when Verity Lambert left. Essentially went from, they're starting their adventures at the beginning. They see, they meet the Daleks, and it's like, it's kind of this is all seems to be new to them. But then you compare, Dalek Invasion Earth to The Chase, which was in the same season, right? At that point, the Doctor's always known the Daleks, right? And it's been set up as they're his villains, and they just know each other. It was a real shift into a more comic book type of storytelling. So so they had a video of her leaving and throwing back the first big goodbye between the Doctor and a companion. So Rusty Davis comments, "Whatever happened to her? Russell, you tease me, baby. You're teasing me, and I quite like it, right? I didn't think I would, but I quite like it. See, I always like to be the teaser rather than the teasee, but it's like, it's strange when a sadist finds out he's actually a masochist. Really? Oh, this is so much better. Now you're hitting me. I like that. That's what I've been doing wrong all these years. In the post below, the Doctor Who Instagram account shared a scene of Dalek Invasion of Earth. Oh yeah, blah blah blah. With David, Peter Fraser in the making of. Okay, here's the thing. Season 2 documentaries, there's a lot of wheezing though. And then we went down the street. And like, a lot of people are very old, is my point. Right? A lot of people are very, very old. God bless them. Fine, so they got that bit, and I think that's the entirety of the story. So This is just recapping other stuff. 8 episodes. Is Susan Foreman coming back? I don't know. Really, it could go either way, couldn't it? It totally, really, genuinely could. Something that is coming back, and this surprised me, right? This really surprised me when I first saw this report. Is the animations. The animations coming back with 2 of them named for this year, which the plan seems to be to finish off season 4, I believe. Is it season 4? Yeah. So the 2 that have been announced are The Smugglers and the 2 episodes from Underwater Menace. Let's have a quick look at season 4 episode, guys, because they're also missing the Highlanders, right? Which is, they might be doing something similar to what they did to the Crusade. Now, I don't know why the Crusade and the Highlanders are the 2 stories that they say they can't they can't recreate for some strange reason. Fine, so let's go down here. So season 4. What they got left from? There's a lot missing from season 3. Galaxy 4 they've done. I quite like that animation. Mission Unknown, they should use the episode done by the school kids a few years ago. College kids. Mythmakers needs to be done. Dalek Master Plan needs to be done. Massacre's awesome. I tell you, if you've never heard The Massacre, it's really, genuinely very, very good. Arc, they've still got Celestial Toy. Yeah, we're nowhere near season 3. So season 4, though, would have The Smugglers. 10th Planet's already been done. Power of the Dark's been done twice, and I quite like that. Highlanders. So I'm thinking it might be a Telesnap recreation once we get this. Or they may release the Highlanders only on the season 4 box set. That I could totally see happening next year. Right? Underwater Menace, well, and then when you got those 2 episodes, that would be filled out. Moonbase already done. Macroterra done very well. Faceless One's done very well. And Evil of the Daleks done very well. So yeah, listen, I do hope we get the Highlanders, right? I do hope so. But not guaranteed by a long way. Now, the fact that they are steering away from the Highlanders makes me think it's the same type of animation and the same budget for animation that we've seen thus far, right? I had hope that we'll get like swanky Disney animators, like What If, animation, which I would love, right? I would love a high-end animation. I'd like there to be a lot more high-end animation. You know what I would really love? I thought of this morning, right? I'm going to talk about it on my live stream tonight, but I thought, you know what would be a great Christmas special they could do on like the Disney Plus Doctor Who hub? Mark Gatiss starring as Peter Cushing's Doctor Who, right? And go for that 60s aesthetic, have the very brightly coloured, have Mark Gatiss write and direct it, right? Or have him write it with Stephen Moffat. They both understand, Christmassy fare very well. Which is why I like both the Sherlock and their Dracula stuff, right? But yeah, that would be awesome, like an hour TV movie, Doctor Who and the chase, Doctor Who and the Daleks in the chase, dun, 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 dun. And have the same, like, don't do a roundels in the console room, have it recreate that Peter Cushing aesthetic. Again, Mark Gatiss starring, he would be absolutely perfect in the role, right? Yes, he would. I know we all agree. Fine, so Lost Doctor Who episodes brought back using cartoons to mark 6th anniversary. Yeah, more brought back from financial ruin from the destruction of the franchise by Jodie Whittaker and Chris Bloody Chibnall. I think that's a far more accurate description of state of affairs. To mark her 6th anniversary this year, 2 stories from the 696 will be drawn and released on Blu-ray. Now, question is, who is the crew doing this? Is it the Gary Russell crew, or is it the Fatals One's Macroterra crew? It's probably the Gary Russell crew, because there's a guy who I don't know if I can tell you his name or anything about him, but works on these things, or worked on all the ones I like, doing the, what was it, like the digital animatics or something, some kind of like computer thing with it and he's found out that he's been replaced. So Okay, so it's either going to be similar to what we've seen before. It's going to be similar to the Gary Russell stuff we've seen before. Gary Russell did he did a few of them. He did the Abominable Snowman and The Fury from the Deep. Neither of them the most successful at all. I kind of preferred his other stuff, which was equally not very successful, which is like, what was it called? Not Galaxy 4. What's the name of it? Although that is one of his. Not Power of the Daleks. No. 10th Planet, right? 10th Planet 4 and Moonbase, right? These were done by Gary Russell's team in Australia, I believe, right? I mean, there's so many unknowns to this story. To mark its 6th anniversary of the show, 2 stories. Okay, well, fine. They are the William Hartnell penultimate story, The Smugglers, and Patrick Troughton's third adventure, The Underwater Menace. Well, that's good news, okay? Both 4-part stories were originally transmitted by BBC before the film prints were sold overseas and the original tapes were destroyed! Death to them. Episodes 2 and 4 of The Underwater Menace 2 and 3 have been recovered, but only clips from The Smugglers story exist. An insider says, fans have been delighted as the show's full season has been slowly restored through animated episodes. Yeah, we're one story away now. Only 10 of the 43 broadcast episodes still exist, so we're getting to see missing classics. Well, again, I don't really think you are with The Abominable Snowman and Fury from the Deep. The Evil of the Daleks, yes, you totally got a sense of what that was, right? But the other was not so much. BBC was, here's the thing that I'm not sure how real it is. Was it last year BBC ended the release of the animated versions after BBC America stopped funding the restoration of the early stories? Well, that makes a lot more sense now in hindsight, given that they're not going to have access to Doctor Who, so why would they continue to invest in it, right? That must be the real story about what went down, right? I mean, that must be the real story about what went down. But now funding has been arranged. I'd love to know who's funding it. It must be Disney, right? BBC bosses plan to colorize certain stories from the Hartnell and Troughton eras for broadcast next year. This is likely to include the first story, An Unearthly Child. So this is, I think, somewhat controversial, right? And it's certainly divided opinion, because I'm not really up for this, right? I'm not saying no, it can't exist. I just don't understand the putting one's resources into this, right? It doesn't. I don't understand it, right? That's the bottom line. I just simply don't understand putting one's resources into doing that. I don't understand how it would make it more watchable or more popular. I might be wrong, right? I'm happy to be wrong. And frankly, I've seen some colorizations over the last couple of years, which have been fantastic. I wouldn't mind seeing the War Games in colour. That would be interesting. I think the War Games and Unearthly Child are probably two good stories to go for, right? I would like to see both of those. I'm not sure if I'm going to like them, but I'll be like, that's curious. The animation deal is not connected with the show's tie-up with Disney. So who is funding them then? That's a real good question. That's really interesting. I didn't know that. 6th anniversary, David Tennant, 14th Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, you got Tony Hancock, 12 Men. Hey, right, so that story, I thought that's a bit bollocks, right? I thought that was a bit bollocks. I'm like, no. I mean, I'd love it to be true. I would love it to be true. But sadly not, right? Sadly, that's not the case. I thought to myself. And then BBC said, oh, no, it's totally true. Radio Times said, totally true. Really? So we have this all confirmed here. Do they say who's funding it, right? In early 2022, the loss of funding would mean no further animated projects will be commissioned, though the Radio Times says that future projects could go ahead if the BBC studio secured another partner. The two stories getting animations are The Smugglers and Underwater Menace, both for blah blah. But who's backing it is a question. So Gary Russell said when The Abominable Snowman was released a few months ago that this was it's a shame that there are no more further reconstructions planned. So that sounds like it's not his team, which makes me kind of happy. And I would maybe it's a Disney team. Maybe we're getting higher level animation. I really don't know. But it said it's not connected to Disney Plus. I wonder who's funding it. I think it's like this, okay? I think they lost the funding from BBC America, as BBC America kind of knew that Doctor Who was dying, and it was also heading to another network. And then the Doctor Who's fortunes in general were very, very much flagging, right? Weren't they? It was doing very badly. And then Russell T Davies came back, and now the fortunes are. It seems like it's going to be huge, right? It seems like it's really going to explode again. And it's probably easier to find another backer. It's just, look, if the newer Doctor Who is good and brings in new people and is authentically Doctor Who, all of which I'm hoping will be true, then there's going to be a much bigger audience to buy these sort of releases. That's basically it. So from Big Finish point of view, we're glad we went out on the best Doctor Who stories of all time. Yeah, he kind of killed it. I'm sorry, it wasn't very good. So news starts with great news, or it's just one part of the 6th anniversary celebration of the beloved sci-fi series. The Mirror also claims that surviving black and white episodes will be colorized and broadcast in 2023. Hoovians recently treated to a sneak peek of the anticipated. Okay, we got the trailer. Fine. So yeah, animations are coming back, right? Animations are indeed coming back. What else is coming back? So we got this. Doctor Who teases the return of Dalek's most unlikely ally. So this is new, right? I don't know where this comes from. Returning Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies teases the unexpected return of a classic Dalek enemy from 1966. Nefarious Maverick Chen. Is there anybody you're not teasing the return of? You got Meet the Beat, you got the Wraith Warriors, you got Maverick Chen, you got Susan Foreman. I mean, like anybody, Candyman coming back, Helen A, Fifi. Are we going back to the Vervoids? I mean, what else can you bring back at this point, right? Now, I mean, it seems to me you're hitting the bottom of the barrel of things to bring back. Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies has teased the unexpected return of the key Dalek ally last seen in 1966. The future Doctor Who looks brighter than ever before. Yes, apparently, because they found another partner for the animations. In large part because the co-production and the distribution deal with BBC and Disney Plus that will give the show more reach than ever before. 2023 is the 6th anniversary of the show. Blah blah blah. They'll be followed by... Yes, oh God, every freaking article says the same freaking thing, like every time. Oh, Doctor Who Magazine, 586. I haven't got to this yet. Okay, fine. Kane's exclusive interview with returning Russell T Davies, in which he discusses the co-production deal with Disney Plus. I'm looking forward to going over this. And several hints for plans of Doctor Who via William Who. Oh, God, this guy... William Who just makes me wretched, mate. I'm sorry. He goes around calling me a racist. I've never done anything racist in my life. It's the weirdest thing. Weirdos. They are just weirdos. If you ever see, like, the little bear I put on my thumbnails, that's the sort of person I'm representing. One of the most intriguing comments hints at the return of classic Doctor Who enemy from the story Dalek Master Prime. Let me just tell you, they're about to transmit the words Maverick Chen on television for the first time in 1966, he observes, giving just how focused he is on celebrating Doctor Who's legacy. It's absolutely the same show. Okay, I'm going to go over this on my live stream tonight. Played by Kevin Stoney, Maverick Chen was the president of the solar system in the 40th century. Oh, yeah. And this looks like it's blackface to me, right? Celestial Toymaker, not yellowface. It was a white bloke wearing robes, right? This looks like blackface to me, okay? I'm not into erasing the past and apologizing for the past, but even I'm going... Ooh, blackface. I mean, do you watch Mad Men? There was an episode in it where, Roger Sterling dressed up in blackface to sing some minstrel song for his new Jewish wife. Why is it always Jewish wife? His new Jewish wife. And it was It was so cringy, right? It was so insanely cringy. So, yeah, this looks like it's a bit blackfacey. How people haven't noticed this yet is beyond me. Even the position wasn't enough to satisfy Maverick Chen's lust for power, though he entered into an alliance with the Daleks. The Daleks had recently gained time travel technology, and they perfected a weapon known as the Time Destructor. It required a power cure that Maverick Chen could supply. I think only Maverick Chen could supply pure. What's it called again? Terranium. And he was willing to do so in the hope he would gain immortality as his prize. Really? I don't remember that, but okay. First Doctor William Hartnell intervened, stealing the core of the Time Destructor. Then Chen joined the Daleks in pursuing the Doctor through time and space. Again, a Mark Gatiss version as Peter Cushing's Doctor. You know you want to see that, right? Who would play the Roy Castle Bernard Cribbins role, right? You need somebody kind of like 60-ish. Not like in their 60s, but like feels like they could easily fit into the 60s. David Tennant would actually be perfect for that, right? It would be too confusing. People wouldn't understand, but he would be perfect for that role. His actions were eventually exposed to the public and arrested for treason. Well, that's pure fantasy. That doesn't happen in 2022. In 2022, when your actions are revealed to the public, they'll go, fair. He was arrested for treason with death as the most likely sentence. It's certainly surprising to see Doctor Who bring back Maverick Chen in any form. Not really. This is Russell T. Davies. You never bloody know. Read the writer's tale. It's co-written by Benjamin Cook, who is a bit of a knobhead in my opinion. I don't let somebody's horrible behaviour let them deprive me of something I enjoy. So I think Paul Cornell has behaved very badly, right? Like, anybody who calls other people bigots is normally a bigot, right? It's very, very normally a bigot. Yeah, but I think his Doctor Who work's excellent, right? I think Ben Cook's work is excellent. But yeah, the writer's tale. You should read it so you can read Rusty Davies's insanely audacious outline for season 4, right? And it was like, and the last ones were, and Davros is there. I mean, it's awesome, right? He's very good at that stuff. Fine, so it's been lost. Many have been recovered or animated, but this remains the exception. Yeah, again, I would love to see a live-action version of this with David Bradley or Stephen Noonan. Wouldn't that be great? Maverick Chen also is also particularly interesting given the political edge to his story. The set photos have already suggested that Doctor Who season 14 will tell a story where patriotism gone wrong, showing a sinister campaign featuring Union Jacks. You know, it's incredible, right? The entire of the artists, the artistic class, the entertainers, the intelligentsia, they spent the last 70 years on guard for right-wing fascism to come and take over our society and take away all our rights, right? Been completely prepared for that. They didn't see their own politics doing that, did they? Right? It's like, really? I mean, again, do you really think there's a difference between most Labour and Conservative politicians? No, they're all scum, right? Same with Republicans and Democrats. They're mostly scum, right? They're mostly scum. Davies is now teasing another political villain, albeit a far more fantastic one, who ruled the galaxy in a distant future. The best Doctor Who stories have been tales that parallel the real world in some way, commenting on social issues. Yes and no, but also the worst ones. If it's done badly, it's one of the worst ones, right? It looks like Davies has continued this pattern. And again, people like William Who are because they're so politically biased, right? What's this guy commenting? Notes as such, because if they are interfering with LGBT representation and the way the public portrays politics, I've got a bad feeling. I think it means that Disney are happy with what Russell is doing and Doctor Who and have intentions to change it and have no intention to change his plans and vision. I don't think that. I think they are happy with what he's doing, which I think makes a lot of people very, very, very nervous, right? I think it makes a lot of people very worried. Again, we've seen Guardians of the Galaxy being good on Disney Plus. I've seen things that are done by people with talent be pretty darn good on Disney Plus. Finally, we always go for the little funny story at the end, even though these are all kind of little funny stories. Identity unpicked. Masked Singer fans claim they've guessed the identity. They've guessed the knitting is Doctor Who star after a marathon clue. Right, so I don't watch Masked Singer at all, but they say this person here is Jodie Whittaker. Okay. Many have speculated the colourful characters Claire Richards from Steps, don't know what that is, assumption compounded by a bandmate H's recent TikToks, right? Okay. Others suggested Girls Aloud singer Cheryl is okay. In her Masked Singer videotape, Knitting had a Lancashire accent, hinted at some connection to the world of theatre. Okay, well, what connection would that be, Jodie? What's this poll? If you could, would you go on the Masked Singer? No. They also walked past a magpie, the bird famously associated with Newcastle. Right, the characters describe themselves as being a big, warm, hallow, and cuddle. That's how Jodie Whittaker does describe herself. And she promised not to string you along. Okay. Knitting's final riddle was, knitting is easy. It's crossing the sticks. You count all your stitches. There should be 26. Fans believe this to be a link to the London Marathon, which tallies 26.2 miles, which Doctor Who star Jodie Whittaker, 40, ran in 2002 for the charity Mencap. Well, that's nice of her. One fan took to write, okay, man, these are like the answers to clues from 3-2-1. Do you remember 3-2-1 where you won Dusty the Bin? You didn't really win that bit. They like the Dusty the Bin figure. You actually won a garbage can. That's essentially what it is. If you've never seen it, right? Go and look on YouTube, right? It's got to be on YouTube. 3-2-1, the most bizarre game show of all time. So I can't remember the name of the guy who hosted it, but whenever he would explain the clip, it was like some kind of like, I think some kind of like little show, some stage show or something. We had clues about what's going on, and you had to solve the clues. Whenever he explained the clues, right? Somebody said, "I think this means this." They were insane, right? It made this look like it was sensical. And then, no, you take the first eye out of fish and put it in sea, and then 3-2-1, it's Dusty the Bin. What the fuck did happen? What? No, that was what 3-2-1 is. That seems pretty much like this. Maybe it's written by the first person. The first episode of the 12 new celebrity concepts singing from behind their masks. Knitting was joined by Ghost, Otter, Jellyfish, Phoenix, and I don't know who any of these people are. This another indicator of Jodie Whittaker. Knitting was joined by Knitting found themselves in the bottom 3. Yes, I think we've identified it must be Jodie bloody Whittaker, and can be at risk of elimination if they fail to impress. It must be. They should have led with that. Obviously, it's Jodie Whittaker. Nobody fucks up like Jodie bloody Whittaker, other than Chris Jimmel. There's still more characters to face the music though, including Jacket Potato, Piece of Cake. How are these? What the hell? Rhino? What the hell? I literally have no idea what I just read, right? Jodie Whittaker may be a knitting person, right? Who's doing very badly at being a knitting person. Again, some things never change. Okay, so I think that's quite a nice wrap up. One last little story, because about Millie Gibson. I like Millie Gibson. The producer for Corrie is essentially saying that she's going to have a huge career. I'm thrilled for her. I was aware some time ago, but where's the quote? It's brilliant for her. It is. It really is. And she'll be brilliant in that role. I think she will, right? I think in the tiny bits of her I've seen, right? Her costume reveal and her off-camera calling to Shruti Gatwa, right? She seems just like tons of fun with a lovely energy and very easy on the eye. Very, very easy on the eye. She's destined for really big things. They say I got big things in front of me. Yes, you do, Millie, darling. Yes, you do. So there you go. Bit of news for you. We got, and again, without really getting into the new issue of Doctor Who magazine, which is going to have quite a bit of news. There you go, bit of news. Well, have yourself a great weekend. I believe I'm live streaming again on Sunday. I was doing Saturday for a bit. I think I'm moving to Sunday. So join me live on Sunday where we see what we can take the piss out of. And that is exactly what we're going to do. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring the little bell, baby. Ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.